G'day guys, welcome back. Welcome to Pouring Your Heart Out. Today I'm going to use a new mold that I've made. This is my rock edge mold, but I've made a square one. I've got a small round rock edge one, and I've got a large round rock edge one. So I thought, how about I make a square? Because I don't have a square mold, like a live edge mold. So this is it. This is my square rock edge mold. Now I'm going to do a fantasy flower for you. I haven't done one for a while. This is like one of my favorite ones. This was crimson and gold and black. But today I'm taking inspiration from the lovely Petra G and doing red, black and gold instead of crimson, black and gold. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do, just to try and get more like a apricot-y type of a tone. Hers was gorgeous. She had this apricot tone. So for my red, because I want like an apricot tone, I'm going to use a red rather than a purple red. This is the Write and Draw ink from Octopus. Now the big bottles, as you can see, don't have a dropper, so I have to use my little pipette here. So I'm just going to pop that in. I want to get the bubbles. I'm not sure how many drops to use. I'll just try a little bit. Just put my little pipette over here for a minute. Now I am using the, oh, it's not very dark, is it? I'm using the Platinum Super Clear. That is quite orange. Anyway, we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. I put another few little drops in. You could just do a little squirt, really. Maybe, I wonder how much a little squirt is. I'll just put a few more in. Put the rest back in there. But because I'm using black today, it's going to make it darker anyway. So, you know, this colour can only go so dark. It's not a dark color. If you want it to go darker, you have to use a bit of black, but then it changes the shade, or just use a different color. So it's still transparent, but yeah, you're not going to get it any darker than that. It just is what it is. It's a red. All right, so that's that one. Now in this little cup here, I'm going to put some black mica powder. This is Pearl X Carbon Black. I had a look at all my blacks, and it's really strange actually, because so many of the blacks are more like a grey. I don't know how much to put in there. And we'll try that. Yeah, a lot of the blacks are more like a silvery grey. This was the only one that was black. I've only got a tiny bit left in it. If it works really well, I'll have to buy another one. So you want this. I like to have it pretty much opaque. I haven't got a lot in there. It's probably like half an ounce or so in there, because I've had to split my cups into 4 this time. When I did this one, I just had the crimson and I had the gold, so I only had 2 colours. And then I had my clear push at the end with a little bit of black in it. But today I've got red, black, some clear, and then some gold as well. So Brilliant Gold by Pearl X. I really like the Pearl X micas. I think they give me really nice striations. And we'll go about that. We'll see what that looks like. Again, I want that to be opaque. Not too much like resin wise, because it can take over and then you just get this. You turn it over and it's just all gold. So you've got to be careful about that. Right, let me put these lids back on. So with my Platinum Super Clear that I'm using today, it's a medium viscosity. I mix it up and I put it in my vacuum chamber for, I did 3 times, because it's quite thick, so it's bubbly. So I did it 3 times. I did overflow it. I wasn't watching. Oh, my bad. Don't you hate it when that happens? So I haven't got quite as much as, I'm trying to scoop it all back up, but I did lose some. And I had to clean it up. Oh my gosh, I hate doing that. I hate it when it overflows. But anyway, you've got to watch it. You've got to watch your resin. So I did 150 grams of A, 65 grams of B, so 215 grams. So I probably only got 200 grams left. And this is quite a deep mold, so it's the first time I'm using it. So I'm not quite sure how much it's going to take, but it's quite a deep one. Now my white for drawing my spiral is my Bloom pigment paste, and it's opaque. Call that opaque. We want it to be heavy. We want it to drop down and make petals, okay? If it's not heavy enough, it's not going to drop down and make petals. All right, here we go. My gosh, look at all my cups. My gosh. Look at all my cups. All right, let's just make some room here. So we're going red first. Ah! Yes, it's probably more of an orange than I wanted, but anyway. Look, if this works quite nicely, I can do it again and choose a darker red. But in reality, my darker reds, like I said, are more like a crimson with a purple tone to it, and I didn't want that. I want it to be more sort of apricot-y this time. I'm just going to spread that. I'm not used to working with a square mold. Let's just spread that a bit. Is that something in there? What's in there? It's probably, like I said, I had to scoop up my resin off the mat, and I probably got some dried resin stuck on my mat, as you do. Don't torch that. It's very, very thin layer of resin over that, and you'll actually melt your resin to your silicone, so don't. It's only a very thin layer. If it was a thicker layer, for sure, you know, I don't mind doing it, but not with such a thin layer. Okay, into the middle goes the black pigment powder. So I've got a little bit more of the red, like resin wise, because I needed it to cover the base, but then I dropped back a little bit for the black, like so. And then we're going to go in with a bit of clear. We don't need that much. I'll keep that for later. And then we're going to go in with the gold. Like so. So it's basically the same as my other one that I did that I showed you just a minute ago, which had the crimson and the gold, but we're adding a layer of black. So there you go. Now I'm just going to pop this in with that. So yeah, the super clear, as I was saying to you, I put it in the vacuum chamber. I just call it the vac. Vacked it for 3 times. So it's still got little micro bubbles in it because I didn't want to go any longer because I didn't want the resin to start curing. So I just did it 3 times until the bubbles were tiny. You can see they're small. It'll be fine. All right, let's just torch this now. Hopefully I can be careful with it. Get away from the edges though. Don't torch towards these little thin fine edges here. All right, so now that that's done, I'm going to just draw some spirals, and I'm going to just use the cup. You could put it in a piping bag, but you don't have to. We're just going to draw some spirals like so. Hard to see where I'm going with my hands in the way. I wonder what it's going to look like. Oh, I hope it's going to be pretty. Right round. I'm keeping them kind of thickish. Slow down when we get round the corner because there's not much left in there now. Scrape it down, just pop it in with the stick like that. It'll be fine. Doesn't matter if you make a blob or anything. You're not going to see it. It's going to be on the edges anyway, so you probably won't even see it because it'll be on the edges. You probably going to end up with like white edges maybe. Not sure what it's going to do. No idea. All right, now my clear going in at the end, just find the middle and push nice and fast. As you can see, I haven't filled the mold. That was my bad, wasting my resin, overflowing it. Never mind. I knew it was going to take a lot of resin, but just didn't make up enough, and then I lost some. So, oh dear. Trials and tribulations of resining, hey? All right, so leave that for a few minutes. I'm going to see what it does. I'm hoping I've got enough mica powder in there for it to do its thing. Yeah, so I'm going to come back to it in about 15 minutes or so. I'll have a look into the center. I may suck some out. Don't know. We'll see what it's going to do. So yeah, I'll see you then. So it's been almost 20 minutes. I set my timer. Hasn't closed up. I can still see the mold underneath. Got some weird things going on around the edges, so that's a bit promising. But I will suck some of this center out. I'll pop you back up here. And I do like to wait, 15-20 minutes until it's sort of stopped moving, I guess. I don't think it's going to move any more than that. Otherwise, if you suck it out too soon and it's it's still moving, so I'd rather wait till it stopped moving and then suck it out. Yeah, that's just what I like to do. And I'm just using a 10 ml syringe. I bought a whole pack on Amazon. I think there was like 20 in a pack, so I'm going to squirt it into there. So I'll do it like this for the first one, just so you can see, but I'd prefer to do it like straight up rather than suck on an angle. And I am going to get down as close to the base as I can, because I want the base to close up, not the top. I don't mind if the top doesn't close up, but I want the base to close. You can see it's getting quite thick now, and it's all just clear. So squirt that in there. If you wanted to, you could put a little bit of colour in it and make a little pendant or use it for something. All right, so now I'm going to go in from the top, straight down. I sort of almost put the tip of the syringe onto the base of the mold, because I really want, like I said, I want the base to move. All right. Oh gosh, spilt. Now you can see there I've got a tiny little bit of gold coming up, so you really need to keep doing it until you've got some color coming through, and you can see already that that's looking much better. And I don't want to take any more out. I'm just going to leave it like that. Maybe I will. I'll bring you down again so you can see what I'm talking about. See how the center still looks as if it's just gold, and then the black's further around? I'm thinking I'm going to have to do it one more time just to get that black to come in as well. Otherwise, I think it'll just be a big gold blob in the middle with no striations. So this is another reason why you really need to make sure that you've got enough resin to fill your mold, so that then you can take out. I used to do like 3 syringes, so 30 mils, 1 ounce is usually what I end up taking out. And I like to get the color coming up. Then I know I've got enough. Okay, so that's, you can see the difference there. I've got quite a bit of the gold coming up through that one there. And now I'll bring you back down again in a minute so you can see what I'm talking about. But I've got the black into the center. And you don't need to, once you've done this, you don't need to put any glitter or stones or anything, because I think the center is just going to be amazing. Hopefully it'll be amazing. But you can see now how the black has come into the middle. And that's what I'm after. Have no idea if we're going to see any red. Don't know. Red's on the outside. I mean, I did put that down first, and when I put the other colors in, it'll push the red to the outside. So I don't know if we're going to get any red. We're just going to have to wait and see, aren't we? Yes, very interesting. All right, I'll see you soon for the unmold. Righto, it has cured. I do wish I'd filled it up a little bit more, but never mind. Next time, next time. Now, when I did the sucking out with the syringe, it's all gone like that, and it has come together after I walked away. It did move. It came together, so yay. All right. Look at that. You can see the gold. You can see the black. You can see that red. I was hoping it wouldn't go too pink because, you know, red and white make pink. So hopefully it won't be too pink on the other side. Alrighty. Are we ready? I can see a tiny little bit of air light through the other side. Tiny bit, but I think it's closed up all the way. All right. Without further ado, here we go. Ooh, that's really pretty. I've got a white blob in the middle. Oh, what's that from? I must have sucked enough out and it's left white in the middle, but that's okay. We can put something over the top of that, can't we? That is so good, you guys. Wow. So I've got like you can definitely see the gold. You can see the little bit of black peeping through. There's not a lot. The edges have gone kind of that reddy apricot. There's a slight hint of pink in there, which is to be expected. Oh my gosh. I think it's turned out really nicely. Except for the white blob. I guess when I've sucked it all in, the white has left white in the middle. If I'd sucked that out as well, it would have closed all the way, but you know, it was already quite thin. I didn't want to take any more out, but it's so pretty. I might see what I can find to put there, just in the center. Just a tiny little thing, like nothing too big, hey? What do you think? Like, you don't have to, by all means, you don't have to do it, but maybe we can just find something really small just to put there. I'll have a look. So normally I would use sort of starburst or sunburst stickers like this, I guess, on my pieces if I wanted to cover up the center. And then I went and had a look at all my different sort of flowers that I've got, and I thought maybe a little sunflower would be pretty just in the middle. So I've got this one, and if I cut the stem off, I can just put that in the center like that. And I think the orange or gold in the center of the sunflower sort of matches the outside. So I'm going to go with that one. So I'm just going to trim it as best I can. I'll cut that off first. So I'll just give it a quick trim. Give it a quick little trim, and then just peel the backing off like so. And then we've got a sweet little sunflower. You just got to be careful when you peel the backing off that you don't raise the edges too much, because then you might see the edge. Oops, I've just picked up the backing again. I've stuck the backing onto it. Oh gosh. I thought I put it on the bench, but it must have stuck to my finger. Oh, all right. Now I can see that the sort of white is going across that way and my flower is going across that way. And also take this opportunity to actually center it properly. I can see that it needs to come up just a tiny bit, but we also want to just cover that. So I'll just put it there. Don't push it down just yet. Just make sure that you're happy with where it is. I don't think I can push it any further over because then the blob will be showing. So there we go. Look at that. I think that looks really pretty, don't you? Don't you think so? Actually, I might move it just a touch. Just going to move it over just so that I have got more of... I'm trying to center it with that gold piece there. I think that'll look nicer, but still trying to cover up my white. There. Is that better? Is that it? Have I got it? Have I got it? I think so. All right, there we go. Happy with that. Because you can see that sort of gold ring around it now. So trying to center it with that. All right, that is so pretty. I like that. Love the little flower. Okay, let's go for a little look at it. Around over here, away from those bright lights. Kick my box out of the way. Okay, so now you can see more of the gold, sort of apricot-y tone that's coming through from the red and the gold. Because red and gold, you know, red and yellow make orange. So you've got to think about the colours that you're using. Red and gold or red and yellow make orange. Red and white will make pink. Come up here. Now you can see more of the black shining through there. Well, not shining so much, but poking its little way through, which I really like. That's why I like using black in my fantasy flowers. You know, I do a black push at the end, or in this case I did a black puddle, but I just like the way that the black sort of creates those little cracks and the striations there. That's what I like. I mean, it might not be everyone's taste, but I like it. I like the way that it makes those striations really stand out with a little bit of black, and you can see the gold there. It's kind of shimmering away there. Looks really pretty, doesn't it? Happy with it. Now, what do you think of my square rock edge? Should have been thicker, I do admit. I should have made it deeper, but you get the idea. I haven't made a square mold before. Well, not a live edge one anyway. So my first time, my first attempt at it. Hopefully it's okay. Hopefully you guys like it. All right, there we go. It's without all the bright lights on it. You can see it's a bit darker there. So there you go. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my little video, and I will see you all again real soon for the next one. Put that there on a messy bench on the other side. Okay, take care, guys. Bye for now.